Hey everybody, I want to just let you know that, well, for one thing, I forgot to put in my little talking head. There we go, right there. Yeah, so I am actually on the road right now. I'm traveling in LA to see my long distance partner Jennifer, as I do on occasion. It's why I'm going to be having a nice video on Hiromi paper later on. But I had recently written an entire thing about why a codex was awesome, and I got some pushback. I mean, I got a lot of positive comments, but I also got some pushback. A lot of people were like, well, why don't you just buy a notebook? And you know, it's not like I don't buy notebooks. I mean, I happen to love this particular one. It's, those of you notebook geeks, it's a Pro Folio. I got it from Artisan Craftsman Supply. It's got pretty good paper. It's got a fun little layout. You can change into pretty much anything you want. It's sort of part dot grid, part lined, part grid itself. I mean, it's really cool. I do like it. And as you can see, you know, I've used it a lot for various things. I even tricked it out a little bit with my Moft folding pen. Has a little magnet strip and things like that. And here's the thing, when I first started using this, I carried it in my pocket. And I'm not gonna get up and show you a model thing, but this actually is a little bit big and bulky in my pocket. Love using it, but there's that form factor. And because I had tried to do that, I didn't bring along my normal Codex. So I luckily was able to just go over to Jennifer's printer, get a piece of paper, and go ahead and fold it, just a regular thing like this. And I'll show how I did that in a little bit, even though I've done it before. But here's the thing, later on in the trip, I spilled coffee on my pants, which I didn't want to stain, so I immediately soaked them and ran them through the dryer, and guess what? The Codex that I had made with no cover went through the wash. And guess what else? When it dries, it still has all the notes on it that I made. And it's frankly still completely usable. Okay, and so I will just say that, you know, when people are like, why don't you just use your phone for notes? Well, here's why. And why don't you just use a notebook? Well, do you think a notebook with all these pages would have gone through the wash and dried and still been as usable as this one would be? But I will also say that I have been feeling crafty, and so while I was waiting for this to dry, I got it, set it up to dry. We were going to go out for a bit, and I thought, what the heck? I grabbed another one of my notebooks that happens to have tearaway paper. You know, it's the XL from Kenson, the multimedia. So I tore out one of those sheets, and I thought, why not? I'll just make a little mini one. Now, it's a little bit thicker paper, but you know what? It really wasn't that hard. I even got I would say it's a deckled edge, but it's really because I didn't have a scissors handy. And yeah, I've actually, got some notes in here already. I took some notes on where we went to dinner for Jennifer's birthday, and the fact that I discovered that I actually like soybean paste soup, which I'm not really a soup person, so it was kind of a surprise to find that out. Also, that I am not a fan, well, I can't say it. I tried LA soju, which is soju mixed with michelada, and it had a weird taste at first, but it kind of grew on me. So anyway, so those notes, I have some notes about my flight. I have some notes I need to do for chores I'm going to do. And I just kept that in there, but I thought, it would be nice to decorate this a little more. One thing I don't carry with me in my kit is many colorful things, but I did carry a glue stick. So I took off the label from a 6-pack of tonic that we enjoy. And this is not me sponsored by it, but I just glued it on here. And not only did it just makes it a little more colorful, but it also makes it a little more firm to hold, okay? And this fits in my pocket a lot better than this. So I could carry that around. It took me less than a minute to do this one, and while I waited for this one to dry. And now, frankly, I can either use them both, or I could transfer the stuff from here to here, or from here to here. I'm probably going to do that. Actually, I like this one a lot. And so I just want to point out that, part of the reason I use this is I don't have to buy a new notebook. I use the things I already have. I reuse materials that would otherwise get thrown away, and I personalize these things into something that I can use. I also, earlier in the week, I had been feeling like I really didn't, I felt like I was talking a lot about making things. I was watching a lot of content about making things, but I wasn't actually making things. And I'm like, this cannot stand. And so I grabbed, another thing I do carry with me are these little brown sheets. These are like from Usable Supply. I think the idea is I'll just use them for either letters or notes or whatever, any number of things I could use them for. And I took one of those and I thought, I wonder if I can make a mini codex. Let's find out. So we fold it hot dog style. Now it's kind of got a craft paper texture, so it's a little harder to fold. Okay. And since I don't have a bone folder with me, I will use the edge of my pencil. There. And then we fold it in half. Is it hamburger? Yeah, hamburger style. All right. Now I know some of you are like, well, why don't you just fold it there and then you have a little 4-page codex? Yes, I could do that, but why would we want to be normal? Okay, and then I just fold in to the middle. All right, so now I've got that stuff, and this is going to be the place where I'm going to make the tear. So I make sure that it's nice and crisp. And when I say tear, I mean tear. I'm going to take it, and I'm just going to rip down the middle. And then you make what I like to call the mouth. Hey, how are you? Okay. And fold it in half, and now I have a little mini Z. Now the difference that I found is that when I have this thing, because it's paper and because it's white and black ink, it feels like it needs to have information on it. This little thing, because it's kind of craft papery and so small, it feels like I should do art on it, which is exactly what I actually did with it. I ended up making a little art video, which I'll put a link to or a box around here to show you. But carrying this around in my pocket too just kind of gives me an excuse to, hey, I'm just going to sketch a little thing here and there. So I'm going to take this one to the airport with me, and while I'm waiting for my plane or whatever, I'm going to pull it out and just do a little bit of environmental sketching, just for the fun of it. So that's how you can use your codexes for travel and how easy they can be. And also when I take all of these things home, they all become artifacts in and of themselves of my trip. So let me know what you think. Talk to you later.